Welcome to Stewardship Basics, Lesson 3B, where I do questions 7, 8, and 9. I am Pastor Wright, and it is with excitement that we continue our discussion of stewardship. So the first question for this lesson, as I said, is question number 7, and it is, how many curses came about as a result of this stewardship crisis? And just a reminder, the stewardship crisis is what took place in Genesis chapter 3, where Adam and Eve reject or rebel against their place in God's creation. They were to care for creation. They were to participate in creation. But they listened to another word, the word of the serpent, and they take matters into their own hands. So just a review, Genesis 3 is the stewardship crisis that we're talking about. So again, what curses came out? And what's really interesting is there's only really 2 curses. The first curse is the cursing of the serpent, that he will be on his belly and eat the dust of the day all his life. And the second is the earth. The earth is cursed. It will produce thorns and thistles. And what happens with Adam and Eve is consequences because of those curses. And so we need to realize that our actions really do have consequences. And when God curses because of our faulty stewardship or the stewardship crisis, the serpent is cursed for the work that he did in and through misleading Eve and Adam, and then the earth, because it is the result of stewardship or the stewardship crisis, that we didn't take care of it, and now it is cursed, and now we have to work to eat. We have to work to provide, because at one time it was just given and bestowed, and now it is corrupted and broken. The next question is question 8. Contrast Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, and Genesis chapter 2, 15, and Genesis 3, 16 through 19. How has the work of steward changed as a result of this stewardship crisis? What's really interesting is actually nothing has changed in the task of steward. There are no new tasks given to you or me or to humanity in general. They are to continue to have dominion over creation. They are to continue to be fruitful and multiply. They are to continue to work the soil and to protect it. The only difference is that the labor is no longer joyful. Work is no longer fun. It is no longer delightful. Again, it was this participation in God's creation, and we did this to glorify God. Now we do it just simply to survive. There will be pain, and there will be toil in the process of work and the care of this creation. And again, this goes back to the stewardship crisis and the results. Not only is the ground or the earth cursed, but now we have the consequences of dealing with that curse. And the last question for this session is, what was the final consequence of this stewardship crisis? And this is, well, it is truly a gut check. The final consequence is death. We heard God speak to Adam, "The day that you eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, you shall surely die." And death was ushered in because of the rebellion, because of the sin of Adam and Eve. And so the Bible study says death is the ultimate consequence of the first stewardship crisis. The death that was promised will not be instantaneous. Rather, the man and the woman would feel a bit of it each moment in their struggles for faithfulness in stewardship as they battle the ancient serpent's influence in the world and in their hearts and their minds. This is a humbling reminder that everything that has been given to you is truly a gift from God, and we are to be stewards, carers of the gifts. Let it be creation. Let it be our body. Let it be the people in our lives. Let it be the stuff in our lives. What are we to do? How are we to use it? And we will struggle. And I like what the Bible study says. We will struggle against the influence of the deceiver, the tempter, Satan himself. For he will whisper in your ears, did God really say? Did God really mean? And trying to put you in God's place, as if we know better than God how to use the gifts that God has given to us. We are still living in the consequences of the stewardship crisis. It's what we deal with literally every day. And we praise God, and we plead to God, and we cry out to God that he keeps us in his creation, and that he keeps us by his grace, so that we will be good stewards of the great and wondrous gifts of this life and this world, as we prepare for the world to come that is only through Jesus Christ. Well, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me through email, phone call, or catch me in church. God's peace and blessings be upon you.